Hey, it's Tobin here, and we are launching. It's time for Book of Experts TV. And if I asked you to show me a tool that costs less than $10, but it will double the odds or chances of your success, could you show me something really cool? That's what we're doing today on Book of Experts TV.
Time for Book of Experts TV.
Topics you love.
Experts you trust.
Friction-free referrals.
Tried,
Tested.
Trusted.
This is Book of Experts, brought to you by salesman.me. All right, how was that for a hook? Less than $10 doubles your chances or your odds of success. Who can lose with this, right? I wanted to share this. This is going to be a solo episode. Most of the time I have guests on. We're showcasing and profiling other experts from the Book of Experts community. But today I wanted to share something with you. This came up because I was actually doing this process with a client earlier today. And I thought you guys might be interested. I'll give you a little peek into this process and what this tool is. My goodness, are we teasing here? Yes, I am a little bit. Just a note for some folks. So I am broadcasting today this sort of off the cuff one-to-one episode, just you and I talking like this. We're not doing the experts need to know show later today. So we kind of hit the end of our summer season. We're going to take a break for a week or two. We'll be back in September with the next episode. We have some really cool topic coming up, including growing your online communities. I think that one's going to be a one of great interest to a number of folks. We're also going to be talking about online courses. What a hot topic right now. A lot of people talking about this. So we'll bring on some experts to talk about the tools, the process, how they're getting best results in this space of online courses. Again, that's coming up as we launch our new season of the Experts Need to Know show. And of course, we'll be doing our networking events right after the show. So not only will you get a chance to hear from the experts, but you actually can connect with them and connect with other members of the audience right afterwards as well. That's all coming in a couple of weeks in September. But hey, let's get to the topic for today, which is tools, and specifically one that's going to cost you less than $10 and double your chances of success, your odds of success. All right, so what am I talking about? So you're going to be really surprised with this. This is super fancy. So we're going to start with a piece of paper. And what I'd like you to do is actually, let's fold this sheet of paper in half so that we get a nice crease down the middle, like so. So I've got it folded, and you can now see the crease in the middle. By the way, this is not a magic trick, but it is a pretty cool tool. The next thing we're going to do is fold it again. So you get this, and once you get that second fold, we're actually going to open it up, and you will see that this sheet of paper, which we all have handy, we can all find one of these somewhere, is now broken into 4 sections, quads sections. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to shift over to screen share for a second. But basically, you're going to need this sheet of paper broken into 4 parts, and you're going to need a pen to do this next section, right? These are where the tools come in. Not super fancy, not super expensive, but I did want to show you this on screen. I thought it'd be a little bit easier for you. So what I'm showing you on the screen is your sheet of paper broken into 4 parts. The lines, you could draw lines on a sheet of paper. I just find it easier. I don't know why. It's just fun to fold it up and sort of break it into these 4 compartments. But let's walk through for a second what we're actually going to do. In one corner, I want you to, if you would, write an N7. And it really doesn't matter which quadrant. For some reason, I always do it in the bottom right. But it's N and 7. In the next quadrant, you're going to do N30. Actually, that should be not 30. That should be 90. We don't want 30 there. We want 90 in this one. Just a typo on my part. And then we want 3Y. in the last quadrant. So N7, N30, this is a mistake. That should be a 9. So N90 and then 3Y. And then what are we doing with this, right? Well, here's the interesting thing. We're actually going to make some notes in each of these quadrants, and we're going to do this on a daily basis. Because here's the interesting thing. There's all kinds of research. They did what they call a longitudinal study out of Harvard years ago. They've replicated this several different times. I mean, I could pull the studies if you care about that. Like if you need to know who did the study and all that stuff. Bottom line is you are 40 to 50%. I think the last numbers I saw was specifically 42%, which of course we know 42 is the answer to any question you ask in the universe, right? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, 42 is the magic number. But 42% more likely to hit your goals, meet your success, however you have defined that for yourself. You are 42% more likely if you actually write your goals down on a daily basis. And they did this. They watched, they literally took folks graduating from Harvard, looked at them over decades and saw the folks that were writing down their goals and those who weren't. And you're almost between, I'm going to say 40 to 50%, because this has been multiple studies that have looked at this now. 40 to 50% are more likely to hit those goals just by writing the goals down each day. But we're going to take this to another level. I think this is a Grant Cardone thing, that you want to do it twice a day. You want to do it in the morning to start the day, and you want to do it at the end of the day. Why does that? First of all, you're going to double your chances right there. So you're going to take that 40 to 50% and 2x it. But when you do it at the beginning of the day, you are programming your subconscious mind to focus. And I think we all understand, all of us that are in the creative entrepreneurial space, that focus is one of the biggest challenges. When we don't have clarity, when we don't have confidence, it can kick our butts. And when we do, we feel like we are unstoppable. So by writing down your goals on a morning by morning basis, you are pre-paving what is going to be coming through the remainder of the day. The second thing that I like by repeating this process, and you'll see what I mean, this is a 5-minute exercise, right? By repeating the process at night, we're actually programming our subconscious minds. We're asking questions. We're basically putting our order out to the universe to work on our behalf. So when we're sleeping, our subconscious is percolating, so to speak. And I like to think of it, this is just me, you don't have to adopt this, but I like to think of it like putting my order in with the universal managers. Like there's just stuff that's happening on my behalf that I can't explain. I'm not going to try to explain. I don't care to explain. I just think my experiences, things happen when you make that commitment. So when you're writing it in the morning and you're writing it in the evening, and it might be slightly different, but at the beginning of the day, end of the day, that's where the magic's happening. By the way, we have a couple of comments coming in. Nancy says, "Oh, freezing. Sorry." Yeah, I don't know, Nancy, if that's on my end. Things look good. It could be on your end. Liz said, "I'm breaking up as well." So sorry about that. Maybe it is. We've got 2 people that have said that we're actually having issues. You know what? I'm going to stop this one, and I'm going to start again, because I actually wanted to create a nice, I wanted a nice copy of this. So yeah, you know what? I'm just going to keep going. I can do this another day. I don't want to repeat what we've talked about so far. What I do want to do is go back to the screen sharing for a second, because I want you to see that not only do we have the N7, the N30, the N, that's supposed to be 90, not 30. That was a typo on my part, and 3Y. But then we want to add in this B, D, and H. And we actually are going to add those in on each quadrant, B, D, and H. So now let me explain how this whole thing works, right? So the N7 is the next 7 days, okay? The next 7 days. That's a week from now. So today's Monday, it's Monday to Monday. If this was Tuesday, you're looking 7 days out. Why? Because we can wrap our head around what's going to happen in 7 days. Like it's like a compartment that we can psychologically, we kind of have a timeline in our head. We plan our calendars, we plan vacations. Like 7 days is a lot of stuff. Good things can happen in 7 days, right? You can make the magic happen in 7 days. You can wrap your head around that. The N30 is the next 30 days. Okay. The next 30 days. What we're doing with the next 30 is that's a month. So I'm basically, today's the last day in August. I'm looking at the month of September. Again, I can psychologically sort of wrap my head around that period of time. I know I can get a lot more done than I can in 1 week. So we've got N7 and we've got, we're going to put our list for a week. Then we've got our list for a month. You guys have probably already guessed this. The N90 is actually the next basically quarter, the next 3 months. So for me right now, it's the beginning of September. I'm going to look at September, October, and November. And I'm probably not going to count a lot. December is a different kind of month. Like I tend to change up my schedule. You got the holidays. I want to be really active in the first week or two of December. And then, a lot of times it's different. And then we go into the new year and we see this again, another spike of activity as people get really excited about launching into the new year. So December is a different kind of month. So I'm going to look at September, October, and November as my next 90 days. And I'm going to think about how would I determine what success might look like? What do I actually want to be able to do by November? So that's my N90. And then the last one, and this one often throws people for a loop, it's the 3Y, and that's 3 years from now. Okay, so this is 2020, and I understand 2020 has been a different kind of year. A lot of us, you, myself, we probably have different goals today than we had back in January because it's just, our world turned upside down and it forced a lot of retargeting. But where would you be? Where are you going to be in the summer, in August of not 2021, not 2022, but 2023, 3 years out? And the reason why we're doing 3 years is a lot of people, when they set their annual goals, they tend to overestimate what they can actually accomplish in a year's time. Roughly 220 working days. Like we just tend to overshoot and then we feel kind of bad because we don't hit our goals. Like I wanted to be here. I wanted to reach this income level. I wanted to do this home project or whatever it is that's important in your life. We set those annual goals. A year from now, I want to be doing this. And quite often we come up a little bit short on those goals and we tend to beat ourselves up. But if you look out 2 or 3 years from now, we also tend to undercut or underestimate what we can accomplish in 2 to 3 years. Again, it's human psychology that we just, with the extra 400, 600 days, we really can create some amazing results. And the reason why more people don't see those amazing results is they're focused on setting goals for a year. They come up short, they feel beat up, they lose a little momentum. But if they set those goals of where they want to be 2 to 3 years, you may really surprise yourself. So we've got 4 quadrants, which you saw this way. Let's see if we can hold that up. Yeah, 4 quadrants on the sheet of paper. N7, N30, N90, and then 3Y. And then we are, let me bring back up that sheet so you can see it one last time. We have a B, D, and H, right? So B, D, and H. And we're looking for one thing on each of these quadrants. So in the next week, who do you want to be? How do you want to show up as a person? What do you want to do? What are the actions that you want to be taking? And what do you want to have? That's what the H is. What do you actually want to have? And usually when people are goal setting, they're thinking about just the have. I want to get this many clients. I want to buy this thing. We tend to think about the having of stuff, having of experiences, having of things. But that's not what we're talking about. We've got that's one of 3. So be, do, and have. Those are the 3 categories that we're looking for. Now, I wanted to share, here's a couple examples. I think this might flesh this out. So for myself, in my N7, my next 7 days, My B is I want to be focused on moving big rocks. I want to focus on leveraging. So I've been super busy lately, and I've started to ask myself, could I be smarter about the work that I'm doing? And could I leverage the work? Could I do something once and have it work for me multiple ways? Could I maybe, for example, with the podcast that I'm doing, can I bring on guests so that we can make a bigger impact together? Can we reach more people that way, right? So I'm thinking my B is how am I going to show up and be focused on moving bigger rocks, not just doing the work, but getting, leverage in that work. My do is I want to, and this is in conjunction with working with my partners at SalesMap, we are working on a new, really interesting launch model plus sales team combination that's pretty damn interesting, and honestly is probably a multi-million-dollar launch model. So I want to develop that with them. So that's on my list for the next 7 days. I'm going to be focused on that. I want to have a conversation with my partners about something that we're working on. And then the have, you know what? So I actually, this is a thing, and I don't think that we always need things on our list, but I've been thinking about getting an iPad with a keyboard so that I can be a little more mobile. Right now I'm working from my laptop, and now that I have my nice studio set up with my lights and everything that you see for streaming, I tend not to move things around as much because I've got so many different things plugged in here. I have it set up just the way I want it. So I'm thinking I have my phone. I use my phone a lot. I think I'd like an iPad. I'm thinking about getting one anyways. I have not decided, but that's my B, my do, and my have. And then when I can go out into 30 days. My B is to be cool, calm, collected, a host with the most, hosting people here on Book of Experts TV. How can I make that a better experience? That's how I want to show up. That's who I want to be. It's an identity thing. What do I want to do? I want to be promoting others, but also promoting what we're doing, getting Book of Experts out in front of more people, which is, I'm showing you some of the work that I'm doing behind the scenes right now. And then my have are some income goals that I've set. I'm not going to dive into all that right now, but I wanted you to understand be, do, and have. All right. You don't need a long list. You don't need 20 different things. You don't need 3 things that, I want to hit this number, and I want to hit this number of clients. I want to hit this revenue number. We tend to be focused on these outcome goals. And big shout out, by the way, to Landon Porter. I've been diving deep on his process. Dude, it's a game. I know. Like, I want to play the game too. So he talks a lot about what the values behind the outcomes we want to create. We don't want the outcomes. We want the values. That's what we're really tapping into. So this is my way of thinking about this for myself. B, who do I want to show up? And B, what do I want to have? B, do, what are the actions that I want to take, and what do I want to have as a result of those actions? So we've got 4 quadrants from 7 days all the way up to 3 years. All right, one last thing for you guys. No, 2 last things. So some of you out there are saying, okay, I'm with you, I'll play along, but how is this a $10 tool? Well, if you go buy a ream of paper, 500 sheets of paper, that is roughly going to give you enough sheets of paper for you to fold and lay out your be, do, and have in the morning, in the evening for the next year. And you, for less than $10, including your pen, you can use this tool, which may be the most important tool because it's going to focus, it's going to get us in the right state so that we can be leveraged, and it's going to increase double, actually, our chances, our odds of success, because when you stay focused on that and you keep the consistency, you will hit the numbers. The only reason we don't do this is because you guys know this, we get distracted, we get down, we get our eyes taken off the ball. There's a number of reasons why we don't stick to it, but when we do, we see the result. I think you guys all know this. I don't want to preach to the choir on this one. Last thought is a quote for you guys. So yeah, $10 tool is a pen and a ream of paper, and actually using it morning and evening. And by the way, I'm doing that. I don't suggest or talk about things that I'm not doing and testing on myself. So here's one of mine, right? Yep, be, do, and have. And then there's another one over there from this morning. So be, do, have. That's the process. Write it out into the 4 quadrants. Your future self is in fact a different person than you are today. You are not your future self yet, but that is where you're going. So you have to play this game. You got to figure out where you are today, and then you got to have a conversation with your future self. And the be, do, and have over 7 days, 30 days, 90 days, and 3 years allows you the construct to have this conversation so you can ease into this future self. You're not that person yet, but you will be unless you hold yourself back. My wish for you, and again, this was something that I was doing and sharing with a client earlier today. Thought you guys would be interested, so I'm bringing it to you. That's all that we've got for today. Let's jump into saying adios. Book of Experts TV.